Hello and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochran. It's not often I get to start a show with my favourite tree in full bloom. That is the golden shower tree. It is an absolute stunner, Cassia fistula, and it'll grow in most places in the country except for where it gets really cold. Now, it is a beautiful tree and it's in full display right towards the end of summer, something to really look out for. Now, coming up for today's show, we've got some great gardening advice coming your way, some real innovation and some beautiful plants. Here's what's coming up. Want to attract more birds into the garden? Well, Linda takes you into her seaside perennial paradise. Bonnie and James have some succulents that need some TLC, and I've got an irrigation system that'll save you time and water. WA, Victoria and South Australia have sweltered through one of the hottest summers in recent memory. In fact, WA's has been the hottest ever on record. And with the promise of future summers being just as hot, using water wisely and efficiently has never been more important. There is plenty of things that a home gardener can do to minimise their water use, but many are surprised to know that there's an irrigation controller that makes it so easy. Darren Senor is an irrigation specialist. He's an expert at installing water-wise irrigation systems. So it made a lot of sense to catch up with Daz and get his advice on the latest Hydrawise series of irrigation controllers. Daz, this garden is looking really good considering the conditions we've had.
Yeah, it's been a pretty harsh summer, but we've got the Hunter Hydrawise controller, so it's got all these features that just keep the right amount of water into the garden at all times. Predictive watering's the main one.
Yeah.
So it harvests all this data from the local weather stations and adjusts the watering automatically to put just the right amount of water, not too much, not too little, into the garden. Keeps it looking great.
So Daz, one of the things that most of us think about when we've got a irrigation controller is the old, remember we used to call them time clocks?
Yep.
And it was because you'd set the time, you'd set the number of minutes per station and it would run literally like that. But technology's come so far now.
Oh, it's definitely moved on a long way since then, Trev. And the beauty of these Hunter controllers, you can run them like that if that's what you want to do. My preference is to use the virtual solar sync option. So it gathers that information from your local weather station, particularly the transpiration rate, so the rate of moisture coming out of the soil.
Yep.
And allows for the controller to automatically adjust your watering budget. So you're only topping up the garden. You're not filling it if though it's empty every time. So you're putting enough water on, but not too much. Saves your water, it keeps your garden looking fantastic. The Hydrawise system allows for preset water triggers, such as rainfall, low temperature and wind speed, that would override the controller's programming and cancel a scheduled program, preventing unnecessary watering and water wastage. So I'm an irrigation contractor, and you know my favourite feature of this Hydrawise range is the ability to monitor and operate the system remotely. I don't have to go to the controller. So when I'm doing my service work, I can stand next to the retic, turn it on and off with the smartphone, don't have to run back forth, don't have to yell out to someone, have them yelling out what to me every 5 seconds. Works really well, simple to do.
Best of all, it really does help you control the soil moisture levels at the right levels. That was recently recognised by the Smart Approved Watermark, where they were given that mark because it had been proven to be so successful in saving water in home gardens.
This is 100% true and proves it's not just you and me that love the system.
Absolutely.
So what would be one of the most significant plants that we've been involved in terms of introducing it on the show? Probably for me, the flower carpet rose family. There's a whole heap of them now. We started out with the regular pink flower carpet, and it's really revolutionised the way we grow roses. It's now the top-selling rose in all the world, and it was very exciting to be there at the beginning of that family being exposed to the Australian public.
Autumn is a beautiful time in the garden, and an important one too, for pruning, mulching and feeding. Liquid feeding is a fast, easy way to give your plants a boost, and that's what Power Feed is all about. You just click the hose onto the bottle, turn on the tap and start spraying all over the garden. PowerFeed is an organic-based liquid fertiliser containing an amazing mix that combines the benefits of macronutrients, fish and natural soil conditioners. It boosts plant growth and vigour by providing nitrogen, potassium, trace elements, protein and amino acids. The unique formula also contains liquid composts which stimulate beneficial soil microbial activity, promote good soil structure and increase nutrient availability. So you're looking after your plants above and below ground. The hose-on spray is perfect for the whole garden, but you can also mix PowerFeed in a watering can for smaller areas or individual plants. The mixing rates are on the bottle. It's got a wonderful, healthy aroma, and you just know that you're doing wonders for your garden's health and yours, because it's great to use on all your fruit and veggies.
I've called in the help of my friend James, a fellow horticulturist and plant enthusiast, to help me get all my succulents and cacti plants repotted. There are a few things that can indicate that a plant needs repotting, and one of the first ones, and quite noticeably with this plant, is the roots. And you can see here it is escaping right through those drainage holes. So this is a classic sign that this plant needs repotting and needs a bigger pot.
So as our plants continue to grow, they're going to be uptaking more and more nutrients, which will need to be replenished. So as the soil organic matter breaks down and the nutrients are taken up, we need to look at the soil to see if there's any shrinkage or if there's any discoloration. And if there is, well, you got a hungry plant.
The perfect time to repot these plants is either at the start of spring or at the start of autumn. There are a few reasons for this. One, it will encourage better root development as the weather is still warm enough for these plants to be growing and to establish into their new pots.
When repotting our succulents, we want to make sure we avoid doing it in the winter months. Whilst the weather is cold, the plants aren't actively growing, so they become a lot more susceptible to root rot.
For these plants, we are using a specialised mix, Scott's Osmocote Cacti and Succulent Premium Potting Mix, as it will provide optimum growing conditions for these plants, and it's boosted with calcium for nutrient uptake and potassium for steady growth.
So now that these succulents are all repotted, we're going to add some fertiliser. And even though succulents don't require much food, it's good to put some in anyways, just to prevent shock. For some of these smaller plants, we'll be applying the Osmocote Pour and Feed for cacti and succulents. This is a ready-to-use formula, making it really easy to apply. And it's great for indoor succulents as it has no odour.
Using a fertiliser like this one is really quick and easy to use, and you can apply it every 2 weeks depending on how your plant is going. And autumn is the perfect time of year to be feeding your plants because the soil is still warm enough for them to absorb all those nutrients. It also has lower nitrogen, which is ideal. Too much can cause limp growth. It's also boosted with potassium to promote flowering, steady growth, and improved resistance to diseases and pests.
Well, these are looking a lot better. And what do you think, Bonnie? Maybe a slow release every 6 months? Do you reckon that would help?
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, they are just so much happier from being repotted, and it was a big task. So thank you so much for coming and helping me.
You're very welcome.
One of the most special, I suppose, garden stories that we've ever done is probably not so much in one of the gardens that we've visited around the world, because we've been visiting some incredible gardens over the last 20 years, but it's actually an event. The Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show has to be one of the best garden shows in the world. And the chance to go over there and shoot with all the team is just so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to doing that again.
After a steaming hot summer, many lawns are looking a bit crook, and mine, unfortunately, is no exception. These scalds are very unsightly, and I need a quick fix to restore this lawn to its former glory. With warmth in the soil and autumn rains on the way, it's the perfect time to use lawn seed to cover up these blemishes. So autumn really is the best season for renovation. I recommend scarifying the lawn to create the ideal seed-raising bed by removing dead grass and thatch, as well as aerating the soil. Good quality tools can be just what the lawn doctor ordered for the job. Just like these two German-made Wolf Garten rakes. The scarifying rake is just the tool for the job. It's got very strong steel tines and they're curved and there's a hook at the end. And this is perfect for dragging out the thatch and also opening up the soil. If you have a problem with regular thatch build-up, then this scarifying roller rake could be the solution. It has the same strong curved steel tines, but with side rollers, it takes much of the hard work out of the job. You can adjust the tine angle to achieve the required depth and simply roll backwards and forwards to collect and remove the thatch layer. The great thing about Wolf Garten tools is they've actually got 3 different seeders to do the job, and they're very, very efficient at delivering just the right amount of seed where you need it. The handheld universal power seed spreader runs off standard AA batteries. Simply switch it on and the machine sprays an even spread of seeds over a wide area. For larger lawns, the WE330 has a large volume seed bucket and a wide 41 centimetre spreading width. Just walk up and down at an even pace to ensure consistent seed delivery. The WE430 Perfect Seeder is the Rolls-Royce of seeders. With an even larger seed bucket, a wide 43 centimetre seeding width and a handy adjustable seed release rate, you can go at your own pace and achieve perfectly consistent distribution of lawn seed, as well as fertilisers and wetting agents with very little effort. Now, you may have heard that I'm an impatient gardener, and I will be out every day checking for those new green shoots of autumn, and my lawn becoming once again the envy of the street.
Now, this plant has to be one of the ultimate flower-producing machines. They are absolutely gorgeous right through the cooler months. They're, of course, camellias, the queen of all flowers. And right now, the sasanquas are producing flower buds. So in the autumn, they'll be just smothered in flowers to the point where you'll barely see that beautiful glossy foliage. And then in wintertime, well, the japonicas really come into their own. It's not the time to be enjoying the flowers right at the moment, but it is definitely the time to be planting them in your garden.
One of the biggest changes I've seen in gardening is the move firstly towards more organic methods of growing, and then it's gone another step. Now we're looking at biological methods, so we're actually putting biology back into the soil, which is absolutely mind-boggling stuff, and it's the way we have to go. And coupled with that is growing our own food. We've always done it, but there's been a few things happened over those 20 years, and COVID is one of them, that's really accelerated that trend. And it's a great thing. I love it.
We're at a pivotal moment in time with our gardens. Plants have been in full growth since August, and in most instances, weather conditions have been perfect for growing. And the season has gone on and on and on, and your soil's nutrient, the minerals that are your plant's energy source, is now depleting. You'll be seeing it in your veggies, your pot plants, and even your natives. And they're telling you something very important. They're hungry. When it comes to fertilisers, not all are the same. In fact, the introduction of the innovation of controlled release fertilisers, and then more recently, beneficial soil microbes, bacteria and fungi, by the billions that benefit soil's health, is changing the game. I first discovered this fertiliser when I visited a mate of mine's nursery up in Darwin. Darryl South has one of the very best nurseries, Darwin Plant Wholesalers. Now, he'd had a remarkable uplift in the performance of his plants, and it was a combination of things that he told me that made such a big difference. One was the potting mix, and the second was this revolutionary new fertiliser that he had discovered. Now, it turns out this fertiliser was manufactured in Perth, which is my hometown, so I was surprised I didn't know anything about it. It has over 60 micro and macronutrients, 60 different minerals that are incredibly important to plant health. But even better than that, it had another ingredient that was an absolute game changer. The way it works is the minerals are added to the soil via prills that have microbes, freeze-dried across their surface. When they come into contact with moisture in the soil, the minerals start slowly dissolving, consumed by the microbes. and then converted into soluble fertiliser, which is taken up by the plant's roots, driven by that demand for nutrient. But you'll never know. You're just applying a fertiliser that'll steadily feed your plants for the next 4 to 6 months. There's also a liquid fertiliser option. You can attach a hose or mix concentrate into a watering can and apply over the foliage. It's absorbed into the foliage and taken down to the roots. It transforms the soil's biome as well, providing short and long-term boosts for the plant's growth. This innovation is a huge step forward in the way we think about caring for our plants and a more holistic approach to gardening. So head to your local garden centre and discover what so many successful garden lovers have. Try Forte technology. It's a game changer.
Welcome to my garden. It's a wildlife wonderland, and it's a really good example of a garden in symbiosis with its local natural environment. My theme is Seaside, New Wave, Australian Perennial Garden. The unintended result is a garden full of blue wrens, spinebills, blue-tongued lizards, blue-banded bees and teddy bear bees. The flowers in this garden have been chosen for their ability to provide a lot of nectar for a long time. And it's wonderful that the birds now can create their own nests from nesting material, can bathe in the bird bath and forage for nectar and insects. This beautiful bird is an eastern spinebill with a lovely chestnut breast, and it returns to the same flower throughout the day to feed. Blue wrens dart from shrub to shrub, making little nests close to the ground to house their eggs. Lorikeets and wattlebirds love this grafted gum, and native finches chatter in the tall trees. And if I'm lucky, I'll even see a breeding pair of white-bellied sea eagles fly over from their nest at the beach. You can achieve a garden like this with an Australian sense of place. Here are my 3 tips so we can attract honeybirds and honeybees into the garden. Choosing the right native plants for your garden is one of the best things you can do to attract birds. You want to include a variety to suit different bird types. Dense shrubs like this tea tree to provide cover for small birds and new hatchlings. Nectar plants like this salvia, kangaroo paw and grevillea for nectar-feeding birds like honeyeaters and spinebills. Native and ornamental grasses will help attract insects for birds who like to forage. But I'm also mindful of having different flowers staggered throughout the year. All birds need to drink, especially finches and pigeons, which have a dry diet. In hot weather, all species need water, and providing a clean source of water like this trough or bird bath is a great way to help birds out. Make sure it's high off the ground so birds feel safe, and have cover nearby so they can make a quick getaway if a predator comes close. Stones in your water source help make it easier for the birds to drink and allows lizards and bees to crawl out so they won't drown. Having a bird-friendly garden like this one comes with a little bit of responsibility. Be mindful of pets. They can kill wildlife, and if you've got a cat, keep it indoors at night.
Well, many of you would have enjoyed this tree, or at least the bark of this tree at some point in time, because it's used to cap bottles. It is the cork oak, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Quercus suber, it's a stunning tree. Very rare to see them this big. It is absolutely enormous, and it's here at Government House Gardens, right in the heart of Perth City. One of the great things about these gardens is that they are a collection of beautiful trees that take us back in time in history and also to other places in the world. Well, that's all we've got for you this week on The Garden Gurus. But the good news is we're back next week. We've got a great show coming up for you. If you want any information from today's show, check out our website. It's a great resource. Or if you've got a question you'd like to ask, become a friend on Facebook. We love answering your questions. Maybe post your photos on Instagram. There are so many things to do. I'm Trevor Cochran. I look forward to seeing you next week for another great episode of The Garden Gurus.